the #1 internet site for irreverent, cool, and entertaining talk programming. It's LA Talk Radio. We say what we want. You're listening to the Sheena Metal Experience with your host, Sheena Metal, only on LA Talk Radio.
It's the Sheena Metal Experience right here on LA Talk Radio. For more info on the show, latalkradio.com, SheenaMetalExperience.com. Don't forget to email me and let me know what you think of the show. My guest all this hour is making his debut here on the Sheena Metal Experience. He is a very, very talented international attorney. He's also part of a wonderful new CD that's out called Resurgence of Rock, which takes some of music's greatest and kind of pays homage to a genre of music that is so very important. We're going to be talking to him about it all this hour. Please welcome to the Sheena Metal Experience, the wonderful Ken Savage is here. Ken, it's so great to have you on the show. Thanks for being here with me.
Sheena, thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be with you and all your guests tonight.
Oh, it's totally my pleasure to have you. Ken, before we talk about the CD, and we're going to play some of it in this hour, tell me a little bit about you and sort of your history and how you got involved in music, how you got involved in law, and what sort of led you to this project.
Well, it's actually a very humble story. I've just been a fan of hard rock music my whole life. Grew up listening to it in the 1980s in Texas, where I grew up, and always stuck with it, and always missed that kind of music when it sort of went by the wayside in the early 90s. Kept listening to it over the years, and the idea for this album really just came about because I was having trouble finding good old hard rock music to play. I was traveling a lot as an international lawyer, and used to take my iPod with me on trips all around the world, and over time kind of got burnt out listening to the same old classic hard rock songs that I'd grown up listening to, and
right. wanted
to create some new music of that same kind, and that's how the idea for this project started a couple of years ago.
That's wonderful. So what was it about originally? What being a fan of music and of rock? When you originally went into the law and became a lawyer, I mean, was there ever a time where you thought when you were young that you might want to go into to music or to study music or to become a part of music somehow?
Well, I'd always had the dream to try and produce a rock album, generally in the background, but really this album just came about because I wanted to promote a resurgence of good old-fashioned hard rock. I mean,
it's fantastic.
This music is about bands like AC/DC and Van Halen and all the great ones we grew up on, and wanted to produce some of that same kind of music.
Now, growing up loving music but not being a musician or studying music, did you have any idea how to put a CD together or even where to start?
No, I really did not, and this has been a long and torturous process.
Yeah, it looks a lot easier when you just go buy a CD somewhere and play it, doesn't it?
I had no earthly idea how many thousands of hours went into each 3 or 4 minute song, let me tell you.
Right. So now did you tell me how it started kind of from its inception as the songs were getting written? Did you go to people that had songs? Did you hire people to write songs? Did you know what the theme of the songs you wanted to be?
Well, I had the theme for each of the songs that I came up with myself, and I wrote the lyrics for the song. But I partnered with a musician based in Austin, Texas, whose name is Austin Shell. He's Austin from Austin, and he was really the musician on the project and wrote most of the music. And he's got Austin from Austin, my partner in crime, has just an uncanny ability to write music to match lyrics, and so we worked together for close to a year writing the music for the various songs. Then we got to the point where we needed to hire some singers, and this is kind of one of the turning points in the project, but we decided to go and actually hire some fabulous singers from the 1980s, all of whom had some commercial success and who knew what they were doing. They all got very enthusiastic about the project, and so we've got 4 different singers on this album, all of whom really, really know what they're doing vocally.
Now, were you surprised when you sat down with Austin from Austin Shell, and started working on this album? Were you like, wow, I'm a songwriter, I can write songs?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised. You know, we came up with a couple of, in fact, we came up with our title track, Resurgence of Rock, fairly early on in the process, and there was an aha moment where we sat back and said, wow, you know, this could really be the right song if we find the right vocalist for it. We don't have a formal band, so we went out kind of like the Alan Parsons Project and hired the most talented singers we could find for each of our songs. That song is ultimately sung by Paul Shortino on the album.
Who's wonderful.
And he just nails it. He just nails it.
Wow. Now tell me about each of your four singers and kind of how they came into the project and got involved.
Well, the first singer we found was Terry Liu, who was back in the 80s and still today with the band XYZ, and he's also been the lead vocalist for BlancaWhite over the last couple of years. Terry sings a song on our album, a real funny kind of tongue-in-cheek song called Your Boyfriend is Lame, and it's actually a song that's got a couple of lines in French and Spanish in it in addition to English. And Terry's mother's Spanish and his father's French, and he's probably the only hard rock vocalist on the planet who's actually fluent in all three languages, so he just nails the song. We found him pretty early on. Shortly thereafter, we found Lorraine Lewis, who's our one female vocalist on the album. She sings two of our songs, a hard rocker song called Still Turning Heads and another slower ballad called 100 Years War. We then went through a really frustrating period of 5 or 6 months trying to find the last two singers from the album. And we kind of auditioned people in the U.S., one or two in Canada, and the rest in Europe. Didn't really find anyone that really fit the songs just like we wanted. Then one day, early this past year, Terry Liu called me up because he had a legal problem in France. And as we were talking, and I was trying to recommend a lawyer for him in France, I said, listen, we've really struggled to find some other singers. Can you make some recommendations? He recommended Paul Shortino and Jeff Barris, and that's how we found our two last guys.
That's wonderful. Isn't it interesting about this business? And I'm sure the legal world is the same, but I've only worked in this business in my life, so that's all I know. How you realize sometimes that it's a connection to one person, then makes a connection to somebody else, then opens connections to two more people.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely the case with this album. I mean, Terry had appeared on a French TV reality show and ended up having a legal problem, and that led to Paul Shortino and Jeff Barris. And there were several critical junctures like this in this project where just having found somebody led us to someone else. And all the people we worked with were tremendously professional, just really great guys and gals as well. It was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know what? Let's play something. Let's play the title track. Should we do Resurgence of Rock? Because I think that that's an easy one to explain, right? It sort of encompasses the idea of the whole album.
Let's do it.
And this is Paul Shortino on vocals. And then what did you do as far as the other instruments, the drummer, the bass, the guitar? Did Austin play some of that?
Austin played some of that, and we brought in some guitarists during the break before the third verse, some really well-known guitarists in Austin, Texas. We had the drums recorded in Austin, Texas as well. And this is Paul Shortino as the lead vocalist. Of course, he was with Quiet Riot and Rough Cut and King Cobra.
That's fantastic. Okay, let's do it. So this is Paul Shortino on vocals, and it's Austin Shell on guitar, and I've got Ken Savage, one of the songwriters and the producers and the idea behind it, with me on the phone for all of this hour. We're going to do Resurgence of Rock. It's the title track from the album Resurgence of Rock. We're talking about all this hour. It's the Sheena Metal Experience, LA Talk Radio. Let's break for some kick-ass music, then we're right back with you.
Kiss was doing that makeup thing. And when the
Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. That's Resurgence of Rock from the album of the same name. And I've got the songwriter and one of the producers and one of the songwriters, Ken Savage, on the phone with me. What can I say, Ken? It's just badass old school rock, right? Like I hate to say this and I sound like I'm 75 when I say this, but it's like the kind of rock they don't make anymore.
Well, that's what it is. It's exactly the kind of rock they don't make anymore, or that they at least don't make anymore in real great number. That's what we're all about. I mean, we're really trying to promote a resurgence of good old-fashioned classic hard rock, and that's what the song's about, and that's really what this whole project and album are about.
Well, when I was listening to it, the first thing I thought was, God, my childhood was fun. Like, I forget how much fun it was where everywhere you went, you heard music like that. It was in the bowling alley. It was in the hamburger place. It was, people were like having parking lot parties and listening to it outside. I grew up at the beach and it was always blaring out of somebody's boombox at the beach. It was a fun time, and it makes you kind of think about sort of the energy of the music that's popular right now and how that's kind of changed the energy of the world in a way.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, I grew up with the same music. I also grew up near a beach in Texas, and my memories of the 80s are probably pretty close to what yours are. I mean, the music was everywhere. It was a lot more fun, I think, than a lot of the music we've had since about 1995. And we're really trying to promote a return to that just good old fun-sounding hard rock.
Good for you.
Back when a time when music was a lot less preachy and a lot less serious.
Yeah, and it was just about feeling good. I mean, yes, we have to be serious in our lives, and yes, we have to take things that are going on in the world seriously. And certainly, I don't think any of us are recommending that anybody not live a serious life and understand the importance of being a citizen of the world. But does everything in your life have to be such a bummer? I mean, it can't even the arts be escapism? And they're really not anymore. TV has gotten, even dramatic television has gotten so realistic. Everything's gotten so serious. Comics feel like they can't do anything on stage without hitting a PC button. Musicians feel like they can't say anything without tripping somebody's PC button. People really aren't having a lot of fun anymore. And I think you can feel that in sort of the emotional mood of our country.
Well, I think you're exactly right. And in fact, I live in France, and you certainly feel it in the emotional mood of Europe as well. But no, this album is meant to be fun. It does have a serious side to it as well. We've got a couple of songs on there that are more serious. A lot of the songs, in terms of their lyrics, are written from the perspective of somebody today, kind of in middle age. That's what I think is really unique about this album. It's kind of 80s and late 70s sounding music, but the subject matter is more written from the perspective of somebody today. So our songs either look back on the 1980s and late 70s with fondness, or they address kind of middle-age issues. And so I think it's a real neat combination.
That's awesome. Now tell me, pick out a song that we can play that's a good example of that.
Well, a good song we can play that's an example of that is the last song on the album called Woman's Side.
Okay, super.
It's a very AC/DC-esque tune. It's got a real kind of beat that anybody, a sound that anybody from the late 70s or 80s would know and appreciate. But the subject is about the husband getting nagged by the missus for just wanting to go off and do guy things.
Awesome. And when is who is the vocalist on this one?
It's also Paul Shortino on this one.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so let's do it. Let's do that. And then maybe we'll come back and play Your Boyfriend is Lame, because I like that you mentioned that earlier, and I want to make sure we get one of Terry's songs in as well. So this song is called Woman's Side.
This one's called Woman's Side. There's a musical piece at the end that you probably don't want to go into because it'll make it a lot longer, but just the song itself, Woman's Side, is a rockin' song, but it's about a bit more of a middle-aged topic.
That's fantastic. All right, let's do it. It's the Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. I've got Ken Savage with me on the air all this hour. His album is Resurgence of Rock. This song is called Woman's Side, vocals by the wonderful Paul Shortino. Quick break for some music, and we're right back with you.
team, but they're playing lame. Sat myself down, popped over the blue. When my lady walks in, says I need to talk to you. I said, honey, don't you think it can wait? This game is important, the time is at stake. She hugs and said, honey, I'm important too. I said, yes, my dear, but I got a week for you. She says, I'm not connecting with the woman's side. If I knew what that meant, I might give it a try. The expectations are way too high. Don't give me no grief just for being a guy. It's a bleeding day, just finished loving the truck. When suddenly I'm hit with a stroke of bad luck. Wife says her mother is coming to town. And it sure would be nice if I'd stick around. I've been planning this hunt for most of the year. Need to get to the ranch, need to bag me a deer. I said, honey, your mother's gonna have to understand. Sitting home this weekend ain't part of the plan. She says, I'm not connecting with the woman's side. If I knew what that meant, I might give it a try. Her expectations are way too high. Don't
discovering
Sheena Metal.
You know that really, really tight baby doll t-shirt you're wearing? Needs a bra. Backed by popular demand, one of New York City's favorite rock bands, Joe Steele, brings their unique brand of heavy metal mayhem to the West Coast with the release of their new CD, Rock Hard or Die.
Rock hard or die!
To see where you can purchase Rock Hard or Die, or for upcoming tour dates, visit joesteelrocks.com. Remember to request Joe Steele Rock Hard or Die at your local music retail store. Rock Hard or Die at joesteelrocks.com.
Marino da Silva, one of the greatest guitarists of our time. Satisfaction from Voodoo Charm, the album, on iTunes now. Discover the magic at marinarocks.com. Welcome to his rock and roll universe.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Passion to create the finest quality instrument available anywhere. That's what Minerick Guitars is all about. With his patented tone chamber engineering, Mark Minerick revolutionized the sound of the guitar and bass. He transformed the ordinary guitar body using designs and shapes that truly make his guitars a playable work of art. With artists like Dave Navarro, Dick Dale, and Gene Simmons all playing a Minerick, you know the tone matches the talent. Visit Minerick Guitars online at Minerick Guitars, MINARIK Guitars.com.
I never believed in ghosts. I always kind of wondered, oh, there's got to be some explanation, until now.
Recent Gallup polls show that 90% of Americans have either experienced some paranormal activity or believe it exists.
You have to be very careful on what you're tampering with.
Their shadow passed between the boards and the window. Did you see that?
Fear grabs us all.
Montgomery House, The Perfect Haunting. Available on DVD at montgomeryhousehaunting.com.
Why do I take comfort in misery? Put on a...
She may be young and beautiful, but life can suck, even for her. You've been in love, right? Critically acclaimed singer-songwriter Brittany Elizabeth reveals it all in her authentic and powerful CD, Breathe In, now available on Desert Sunrise Records. See, hear, and buy Brittany Elizabeth at BRITTNEY Elizabeth.com.
Hey, you, the talented musician who any label would want if they knew where to find you. Come here. We need to get you some serious label attention. So how is that label going to find you with no money and no hot contacts? I'll tell you how. Music Highway, the free online in-the-know independent music resource, where you log on and find free industry contacts, free bookings in great LA clubs, and best yet, free radio play on Music Highway Radio. Just log on music-highway.com. Music Highway, where you pave your own road to success.
Every Thursday night, Sheena Metal hosts Carneyville. LA Talk Radio's Sheena Metal presents Carneyville at the Other Door Bar in NoHo. Great live bands, carny games, circus performers, food trucks, full bar, drink specials, and a whole big party with guys, gals, and great live bands on stage at the Other Door, the nightclub in NoHo. The Other Door is at 10437 Burbank Boulevard, just east of Cahuenga. Carneyville starts at 8 p.m. Cover is just $5. Sheena Metal hosts Carneyville every Thursday night at the Other Door Bar in NoHo.
Just found the very best and original talk radio broadcasting on the internet. It's LA Talk Radio. We say what we want. You're listening to The Sheena Metal Experience with your host, Sheena Metal, only on LA Talk Radio.
Walks in with some new chains bound.
the Sheena Metal Experience, LA Talk Radio. That's Your Boyfriend Is Lame from the Resurgence of Rock album. It's Terry Lou on vocals, and it's just awesome. Co-writer and producer of the album, Ken Savage, is with me on the phone all this hour. Ken, it's just a kick-ass album, and the guitar parts are amazing. Is that Austin doing the lead work?
Yeah, that's Austin doing just about all the lead work.
Wow, just is so intense. And his work on the song that we played before that's funny that you called the middle-age perspective song, which I think is hysterical. On the woman's side, boy, I know I wasn't supposed to play the instrumental part at the end, and then I just got enraptured, and I did. But just amazing guitar work.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Austin just did an absolutely terrific job on this album, and it really shines through in just about all the songs.
He's such a talented guitar player. I mean, it's great to have all these, celebrity vocalists come in and perform, but honestly, without that guitar work, it wouldn't have the shine that it does.
You're right, and it was actually, I think, really only once they heard our musical demos that they got really, really excited about the album. They liked the concept and all. They certainly wanted to be part of the resurgence and the movement to bring back this kind of music, but what they really, really grooved on were the musical pieces that Austin wrote.
Yeah, it's amazing. Really, really good stuff. I want to try to play something that has both of your other vocalists. So should we do one for the ages? Because that's Jeff, right?
Yeah, let's actually do Take Me Back. It's one of the slightly slower songs on the album, but that's Jeff Harris, and it has a lot to do with the subject we were talking about earlier, about back when life was simpler, growing up, and I think that would be a real good one to do. Take Me Back.
Let's do it. Okay, this is from the Resurgence of Rock album. I've got Ken Savage on the phone with me all this hour. He wrote these songs, co-wrote them, and also co-produced the album. And this is Take Me Back. Jeff Parrish on vocals. It's neat that they have different vocalists for different songs. It makes the album even more cool. It's like a celebrity-packed album. Let's do Take Me Back. It's the Sheena Metal Experience, LA Talk Radio. Quick break for some great music, and we're right back with you.
Jobs on the line, afraid that it's only just a matter of time. We're treading water, not getting ahead. We can't forget about it when we go to bed. Burning the candle at both ends. Neither one of us has a hand to lend. Oh, take me back to the days before. Just you and me and some rock and roll. We were young and wild, we lived so free. There was so much time for you and me. Back when I had nothing much to do, except raising hair and making love to you. Making love to you, yes I did. Kids are having problems in school. They're getting real good at breaking the rules. Between child and mother, girl, you just can't seem to hardly ever be there for me. Lord only knows I ain't no better than you. I take for granted everything you do. So easy to dwell on all that's wrong. Makes it all the harder just to get along. Oh, Oh, take me back to the days of old. Just you and me and some rock and roll. We were young and wild, we lived so free. There was so much time for you and me, baby. Just take me back to the days of old. Just you and me and some good old rock and roll. Young and wild. Oh, yeah! Come on, boys! Oh, take me back to the days of old. Just you and me and some rock and roll. We were young and wild. We lived so free. There was so much time for you and me. Oh, take me back to the days of old. Just you and me and some rock and roll. We were young and wild. We lived so free. There was so much time for you and me. Back when I had nothing much to do. So raising hell and making love to you, yeah. Sha-la-la-la-la-la. Oh, take me back.
It's the Sheena Metal Experience, LA Talk Radio, from the album Resurgence of Rock. That's Take Me Back. What a badass way to end the show. I've got Ken Savage. He's one of the songwriters and producers on the show with me all this hour. You know, can you hear can you hear me smiling in my voice, Ken? I'm sitting here laughing to myself with joy like I'm 13 years old again.
I'm glad you are. That's exactly the reaction we want. Yeah.
Right? It's, and it really makes me feel like, I feel kind of like Scrooge at the end of A Christmas Carol. Like I want to just leave here today and go run through the San Fernando Valley and run through all of Los Angeles just screaming like, lighten up, people. I mean, everybody seriously needs to have a beer and get laid.
Exactly.
And maybe it took Texas to show us all that. It took you guys in Texas to do that. Well, and you living in France, that probably doesn't hurt.
Well, there's a lot of California on this album too. Let me tell you.
That's awesome, so awesome. Ken, will you come back and see me again, and we'll play more of the album? I would love that.
I certainly will. It'd be my pleasure.
And where's the best place people can find you online to get the album, find out about the album, and find out about you?
Right now, we're at resurgenceofrock.com. We're also on Facebook at Resurgence of Rock. We expect a full street release of the album probably in March, but if people could just stay tuned to those sites, we'll have more announcements coming soon.
It's fantastic. And everybody, if you missed any of the links for Resurgence of Rock or how to get a hold of them or Ken Savage or Austin Shell, just make sure you go to SheenaMetalExperience.com or LATalkRadio.com. Send me an email, and I will gladly forward those links over to you. It's the Sheena Metal Experience right here on LA Talk Radio, and you know what we do here, people.